Gorman in the morning on Minnesota's 92 KQRS. It is Friday, August the 22nd. Yeah. Let's roll, shall we? I am sitting alongside Paul Fletcher.
Happy Friday. Hey, really quick, I emceed a charity event last night for a great organization called Shine a Light, which shines a light on mental health. Okay. And so I just wanted to give them a shout out because terrific organization doing really great things.
Beautiful. Let's get into the headlines, Paul Fletcher. I'm feeling Minnesota.
Shout out to Scott Schwartz of Oak Grove and his son Nicholas of Big Lake. They were the first to enter the Minnesota State Fair yesterday morning, 7 a.m.
Wow.
After waiting in line for, have you seen the story?
No.
Take a guess. How long do they wait in line to be first?
They got to be, I'm going to say 18 hours.
Ryder?
I will say 173 hours.
They waited in line for 24 hours,
okay.
Which
there
is,
you go.
Man, that's commitment. Scott says they're excited to take in everything the fair has to offer. Quote, it's a lot of fun. People are so excited to be here. It's kind of the glue that keeps us together, which is really well worded. And one of the best things about Minnesota, both father and son say they were looking forward to the food.
Setting the precedent, 24-hour minimum.
Both Scott and his son at 7:27 were seen sound asleep in Ye Old Mill.
Yeah.
So go figure.
They're passed out.
Let them go. No, just let them ride it again.
Yeah.
They earned
Keep
it.
them on. Yeah, I think it was Scott's birthday yesterday, too, so that's why they did it.
Yeah, that's
close.
So nice work, guys.
I mean, that's a cool father-son thing, though, to do together. Delta and United were sued for selling windowless window seats. Delta Airlines and United Airlines were sued by passengers who claimed they paid extra money to sit in window seats only to find themselves placed in seats next to a blank wall. The complaints say some Boeing 737, 757, and Airbus A321 planes contain seats that would normally contain windows, but lack them because of the placement of air conditioning ducts, electrical conduits, or other components. Passengers said Delta and United do not flag these seats during the booking process, even when charging tens or occasionally hundreds of dollars for them.
Okay, hold on a second. They're not charging. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's not. You're not paying more for the window seat. You're paying more for the aisle with a little extra legroom. I don't remember ever looking at a flight online and looking at an aisle seat versus a window, and the window cost more. Maybe that's just my experience. But really, is this a thing? I would like to know. In fact, I guess I'm gonna have to go book some flights just to see.
People who are normal height, which would be me and not Steve Gorman.
Right.
I love a window seat, and I don't really give a crap if there's a window or not. I just want that wall to sleep again.
Yeah, sure.
Yep.
And also, people don't crawl over you to get to the bathroom.
That always helps.
So I think that's what you should be paying a premium for. I don't really give a crap about the window. Once you get above the clouds, there's no view.
Wow.
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
She's
She's totally right,
Yeah,
though. It's
so
all
give
about
me that wall.
It's all about the wall and legroom.
Whereas I take the aisle every time because I need to use it for my left or right leg, depending on which side I'm on.
Yeah.
And I also just like to be able to stand up. And I'm the jerk who, in the middle of a flight, will just stand in the aisle for 20 seconds.
I
don't pace, but I'll stand up and then touch my toes and look around and make sure everyone knows just how damn tall I am. But that's just me.
The Beatles classic anthology documentary is getting a new edition, restored, remastered, and expanded by Apple, featuring the full story of the band in their own words. The new 9-part anthology will be available on Disney Plus starting November 26th, with a brand new episode 9 showcasing unseen footage of the surviving Beatles working on the original documentary.
I'm a lifelong Beatles fanatic, and even I've seen enough Beatles footage, but I'll watch this the day it hits. Don't make no mistake about it. I'll watch every minute of whatever they give me.
And every single other person on the planet probably will as well.
Pretty much.
A report from TMZ says medical malpractice may be linked to the death of wrestling superstar Hulk Hogan. An occupational therapist present at Hogan's home when he stopped breathing reportedly said the Hulk was the victim of medical malpractice due to a severed phrenic nerve during a recent operation. Hulk's wife Sky alerted authorities when he stopped breathing, leading to the 911 call.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm still wait. What got severed when? I mean, Hulk was probably not very nice to his body. To be fair, you got to do some weird things to build those muscles.
That's right. And you when you are in your 70s and you have decades of that lifestyle behind you, I think it's amazing that you're in your 70s.
Yeah.
Just saying.
For sure.
Absolutely. That's what I got.
let's talk about real sports.
Yeah.
Like women's basketball. The Lynx lost for the second time this season to the Atlanta Dream and lost their second game. Back-to-back losses.
It's over.
For the first time all year, we've lost 2 in a row.
It's over.
They're 28-7. No cause for panic, but honestly, you just get so used to the wins. I saw the score last night, and I was like, what's going on? Wait a minute. It's over. The magic's out. No, that's not the case, but the problem is they had a 6-point lead in the fourth quarter and lost a game. That's un-Lynx-like.
Yeah.
Long story short, starters are great. The bench, usually fantastic, was really, really, really light in their shoes last night. They're back at it soon enough. It's all okay, but it's just an odd thing. But, hey, you know what? They made it to August 21st before they lost 2 games in a row. The Twins will be back today. Zebby Matthews opening this weekend's 3-game series with the White Sox. They have yet to announce their starters for Saturday and Sunday.
Okay.
And I'm just going to throw it out there. If you are a former high school baseball pitcher, give a shout to the Twins. They're probably looking for you.
Arms are needed.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
The Minnesota Vikings, last call for a whole lot of wannabe Vikings. Tonight they play the Titans in the final preseason game. Max Brosmer, your undrafted Gophers quarterback from a year ago.
Okay.
Wow.
I've seen enough. I don't need to see Sam Howell or Brett Rippon anymore. Give Brosmer the backup job. He looks great.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Undrafted, they immediately, when the draft ended, they immediately called him and said, hey, come in as an undrafted player. And just check it out tonight. He looks really good.
Wow.
It's kind of a great story.
That's awesome.
It really is.
And we love one of us, a Gopher. That's awesome.
Well, one season, transfer from New Hampshire, but hey,
but still,
it doesn't matter. He's still there.
It's still good.
Hey, Bayport, glad to have you with us this morning. Right over there upside the St. Croix River, Bayport, Minnesota. Nice people over there. Come on, Bayport. Happy to have you with us, Bayport. Hey, we had a nice day yesterday.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it, shall we?
Right.
Went over and had a good time. Saw a bunch of folks, and we'll dig in a little deeper. But first, it's an itch that must be scratched. Modern English. Gorman in the morning, Minnesota's 92 KQRS. Yesterday, just let's get right to it. Opening day of the fair, and we got out there. Ryder and I showed up about 11. Paul, you got there an hour or so ahead of us.
This is ridiculous.
What's that?
It took me an hour and 20 minutes to get from here to the outdoor lounge at the fair. Took you guys 18 minutes. That's not fair.
Well, we set up a ride.
Yeah, we got a guy.
No, but
His
what the
name
hell?
is Jerry.
Yeah, you got to get a guy.
know.
You just got to hook up with a guy.
Well, yeah, but
It's all about who you know in this world.
I don't know how you shaved 40 minutes off the thing or 50 minutes off the deal.
Jerry likes to bribe everybody with T-shirts. So
He sure
that's
does.
the deal.
It's all about who you know, and we know a lot of new folks.
Man,
for everyone
great.
who came by yesterday, sincere thank you. What a pleasant way to kick off the fair.
Oh, hell
and to
yeah.
enjoy a gorgeous day. Did not embarrass myself. I kept the pickle beer intake down to just a couple. That was good.
Steve, you were right. Check out the podcast. Thank you very much. Steve has a really great reason why that second pickle beer is the best. For him, for me, it was the best because it was the one Steve paid for. So,
that was it? Yeah.
It just tasted so much sweeter.
I've said it for years. The best tasting beer on earth is the one someone hands you.
Yeah.
So there it is.
That is 100% true. I wish I would have experienced somebody handing me one, but Dude,
I was like, do you want one of the raspberry, whatever
no,
goofball thingies that they make over there? I guess.
It's a toothless chirp. I'm totally kidding.
His business card says Paul Fletcher, not a beer guy. We all know.
I told you I was going to try one though, and yesterday was not the day. But
you were busy. You
next
were doing
week sometime.
You were doing double duty. You're meeting folks and then running and jumping on the air live. Whereas Ryder and I got to just stand out there and be cool and talk to people.
But also,
Fletcher, what did you put in your mouth yesterday?
I had some. I got to try some of the new food. Grandma Doreen's dessert dog from the West End Creamery.
Yeah,
that one I thought was good. It wasn't amazing. It was good, but it's like that movie that you see that's good but you don't have to see it again.
Yeah,
kind of like that. The whipped feta, which when we did our new foods, we each spotlighted one thing. That was the one I spotlighted.
Yeah,
man, it backed it up. Whipped feta covered with jalapeno cilantro, garlic pesto, and toasted wild rice, and then deep fried pita. I think you each had a piece, right? It was pretty dang good.
Yeah, I snuck some of that. It was very tasty.
That's at Dino's, and it's kind of perfect for if you want to take a break from all the really heavy stuff that you get at the fair.
Right.
Last but not least, the Blue Barn brought by funnel cake cheese curds. Oh. That were it was like a lemon sauce with some berry drizzle over the top. Oh my God, they were good.
Everything they brought by, it was fantastic. I had some of the Nashville hot chicken as a Nashville hot chicken aficionado.
Sure.
Excellent.
Blue Barn does
Fantastic.
things right. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Awesome.
So
awesome.
It was good, but I just want to double down on what you guys said. It was nonstop from the second I got there to the second I left at 2 people.
Yeah.
Just it was
Really nice.
It was amazing. It felt really, really good. So thank you for giving us that.
Hell
All
yeah.
right. Well, and I'm sure we'll be discussing the state fair. Gosh, I don't know, for the next couple weeks or so.
That's right.
Hey,
Hey,
listen.
if we missed you yesterday, we're going to be out there next Friday.
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
A week from today.
Yeah, a week from today, and we're going to do it a little later, so come do happy hour with us, okay?
Oh yeah,
all
next Friday afternoon.
Okay.
Oh, I'm already looking forward to that. Do me a favor, take a deep breath and hold it. And then let me know when 29 minutes has expired, because there's a new world record that is going to blow your mind. That's in 5 minutes and 2 songs.
Gorman in the morning. Coming right back. 92 KQRS. Streaming from 92KQRS.com. Gorman in the morning is back. 92 KQRS.
Gorman in the morning on Minnesota's 92 KQRS. There's not a whole lot of things in life that are considered difficult that I imagine being able to do for like a half hour. And by that, I mean just like get on a treadmill, put it at a steep incline, and run at like, say, 6.
Okay.
I could do it.
Yeah.
I don't want to. It'd be really hard.
Yep,
I would
but
have to prepare myself. I could do that.
Yeah.
There's just like if a sauna's a little too hot, and I'm a big sauna guy. I'll tap out. I'm like, yeah, forget it, man. I don't have it in me.
Sure.
And I'm saying this because I say things like, oh, it's a half hour. Oh, man, dude was in there for a half hour. It's just a thing you throw out there.
Yeah.
But how about this?
Pizza gets to you in 30 minutes or less.
Sure. See? How about this? Vitimir Mericic is a Croatian free diver. These are the guys that dive to great depths in the ocean or some body of water. They take a lung full of air and they just go. And they go real deep and they don't get the bends, and it's crazy to watch.
No scuba tank, nothing like
oh,
that.
No.
Okay.
Just they go down.
None
Bizarre.
of those James Bond things where they put the little oxygen
Nothing at all.
in their mouth.
Nothing at
Okay.
all. So what he did recently, though, was he just jumped into a swimming pool. And he did that in front of 5 judges and 100 spectators, because what he said was, hey, I'm going to go try to break the Guinness Book of World Records for longest time underwater just with a lung full of air. And he lasted, what's that?
What did he need to get, like 6 or 7 minutes?
The record was 24 minutes.
Okay.
The current
24
record,
minutes?
24 minutes and 37 seconds is the standing record.
I'm getting dizzy.
He beat it by 5 minutes.
Oh.
29 minutes, 3 seconds underwater just with lungs
This guy's
full of air.
He's got to be part like amphibian. Don't they breathe through their skin? Maybe he's part amphibian.
He to get ready, the one thing he did that the average person doesn't do before going into a body of water, he did have a tank of pure oxygen where he breathed that in for 10 minutes, just pure O2.
Holy
And
moly.
that expands, and that just puts a lot of more oxygen into your bloodstream, which when you're
actually
holding your
helps?
breath will actually come in handy.
Really?
And the Guinness Book allowed this?
That's
sounds like
how it
cheating
works.
to me.
That's what they do. They just
Okay.
give, but you dose up on pure oxygen and then go. So just think about how long 29 minutes and 3 seconds is. That's longer than any sitcom, because you
Yeah.
remove the commercials. They're 22 minutes long.
Yeah.
That is here to Stillwater.
Yeah, it is.
with traffic.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Hold your breath for a fourth or a fifth of that, and I'm going to be like, holy crap, nice effort. 29 minutes and 3 seconds
That's like
underwater.
That's unimaginable is what that is. Like most things that I can't do, I can at least imagine. Like,
Yeah.
can't even. That's unimaginable.
I'm hyperventilating just
yeah.
thinking about
Yeah,
this.
right?
Like,
Yeah.
I'm starting to panic at the thought of having to do this for 29 minutes. I am freaked out about getting buried alive, though. So,
Like,
take that into account.
Yeah.
If you think about it, when you're not expecting to hold your breath and something happens where you need to, like somebody is blasting an aerosol can nearby, or you're walking by an open sewer vent, or whatever it is, and you're just like, oh, and you just take in a breath to just for 5-6 seconds. When you let it out, you're like, oh my God. I mean, obviously that's not the situation here. He's preparing. This is something he does.
He's using performance-enhancing drugs.
But you
the way
think
it sounds.
about it's oxygen, honey. That's not a drug. That's just the good stuff.
Yeah, we all
29
need it.
minutes. There are very few things in life that I enjoy that I want to do for 29 minutes. I'm just saying. That's
maybe he
really
enjoys this.
Extraordinarily long time.
My brother and I used to have contests when we'd go through a tunnel. We
Yeah.
would see who could hold their breath through the entire tunnel.
Sure.
So that's my accomplishment.
So these tunnels in the state of Minnesota.
Yeah.
I'm assuming they're half a mile long at most.
Not even.
Okay. Just making sure.
Yeah, so we're holding our breath
So
for 12
14
seconds. Yeah, maybe.
Okay. So he was asked about, dude, what's the secret to your success? He said, it's very simple. No panic, no thoughts, just silence. That's what I do when I'm trying to go to sleep.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No thoughts, no thoughts, no thoughts. But I'm breathing deeply the whole time. Big difference.
100%. Very deeply, yeah.
So he is in the Guinness book now. He's going to be there for 29 minutes and 3 seconds, this effort. I don't imagine, I hope no one ever breaks that. I just don't want to think about a human that can go 30 full minutes with one lung full of air. Because to your point, amphibian or straight up fish. I mean, there's a crossbreeding thing that's going to have to be involved.
Salamander Scott.
Weirdest Guinness Book of World Record you're aware of, because a whole bunch more were just given the nod.
Oh.
The 10 weirdest Guinness World Records of the year for 24. We've got them for you after the cars. Gorman, in the morning, if you want to be a Guinness World Record holder, you just got to come up with something. You got to come up with an idea, because they still give out world records that don't exist yet. If you're the first person to suggest something, they can give it to you. Or if you want to break a current record, that's also cool. Like, say, you want to have a Guinness World Record for the longest trip ever in a pumpkin boat, paddling a pumpkin boat. Now, pumpkin boat, just so you know, that's not a boat people use to go retrieve pumpkins. You know, it's not like, hey, there's a pumpkin patch across the river. Let's grab a pumpkin boat and go load it up. No.
Is this
a pumpkin boat is a boat that is hollowed out of a giant pumpkin.
And it floats?
Yeah, it does.
Damn. Okay.
Not only does it float, but an Oregon man named Gary Christensen has been given a Guinness World Record because he took a hollowed out 1,200-pound pumpkin.
Oh, wow.
Plunged it into the Washington River and then paddled 45.6 miles in that pumpkin boat. 45 miles in a pumpkin boat.
I don't know if I want to go 45 miles in a boat with a motor on the back of it.
Punky Loafster, in case you're wondering the name of his vessel.
This is a Guinness record I think I could break. Because there's that dude up in, what is it?
In Anoka.
In Anoka.
Travis.
Who's got the giant, Travis with the giant gourds.
Yeah.
Oh, right, sure.
I'll
He's growing his right now. Yeah, he's growing his right now.
When he's done with it, I'm getting on the river.
I wonder when they're
Orleans?
judging these gourds, how many times people come up and go, oh, that pumpkin is gorgeous.
Too many.
Probably all the time.
A 15-room hotel in the Philippines has been given a Guinness World Record as the largest building on Earth in the shape of a chicken. I'm not making this up.
Cock-a-doodle-doo.
This is a 114-foot tall chicken building. It's a hotel that has 15 air-conditioned rooms, and when I say it's in the shape of a chicken, I'm not kidding. It looks like a giant chicken.
You aren't kidding.
I would never in a million years think it's an actual building that has anything inside it. It's no different than it's like the blue, the sculpture garden over there at the
giant blue rooster.
The giant blue rooster.
Yeah.
Imagine that being 114 feet tall and having 15 air-conditioned hotel rooms. That's what it is. See, you just got to get creative.
That's all it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you got to commit to the bit, whatever your bit is.
Whatever your bit is. How about this one?
Cow, look at that.
I really like this one. Laurent Lascaux is a professional stuntman and race driver, and he now holds a Guinness World Record. He went bungee jumping inside a car, as in they attached the cord to the rear bumper of an automobile and pushed that off. And he went down
I don't like this one.
a little over 200 feet. 65 meters
Yeah, that just gave me
in a
heebie-jeebies.
car that was tethered to a bungee.
And he was untethered?
He was just in the car.
In the car.
He was just in the car. He
Hopefully
was
he
the
wore a
car.
seatbelt.
Seatbelt on.
There were 8 bungee cords attached to the car. It was dropped from a crane at a height of 213 feet and 3 inches.
That sounds like a big fat sack of nope.
Yeah.
That one I'd pass on.
Would you rather do that, or would you rather just bungee from 213 feet on your own? Have either of you ever
I've
bungeed?
done a bungee jump.
Really?
And it was really scary because you do actually feel like you're about to plummet to your death
Yeah, sure.
before the cord pulls you back. And then it was a lot of fun.
Okay.
But yeah, until you get that tension, you're like, oh crap, what did I just do? So being in a car, I can't imagine.
A gentleman in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, has a Guinness World Record for the most gaming consoles connected to a single television.
That's my man. How does he do this?
Let's go ahead and think about it. How many gaming consoles connected to a single television that he can truly operate? Go ahead and take a guess.
6.
6 is Ryder's answer.
Yeah.
I mean, it has to be something absurd, but I'll say 9.
Let's say 444.
No.
Yes. 444 gaming consoles, and he goes back and forth, and he doesn't have much of a social life, I'm guessing.
Why? There aren't 444 different gaming consoles in existence. Does he just have the same thing? One game on each, or what?
Look, all I know is he's got more than 30 RCA switchers, 12 HDMI switchers, and all 444 are operational.
My superpower is setting up a home theater system, and I've got like 2 crates of miscellaneous cables, so I feel like I could take them on.
Fair enough.
Yes,
I like that.
let's do this.
Okay,
Game
night at Ryder's house.
Last one I'm going to share with you. Dylan Phillips is a British mechanic, and he now holds the land speed record, fastest motorized wheelbarrow, 53 miles per hour.
Okay, this is the one. This is the one I'm doing. Get me in the wheelbarrow. I'll do this one.
I like that. I mean, because when I'm utilizing an actual wheelbarrow, usually it's yard work. You're getting all the clippings and the blah 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 blah.
And you got to push the thing.
Yeah, you got to push that bad boy. I could use a motorized wheelbarrow for that. I mean, I'm talking like this happens once every 3 years, but still, the fact remains.
Yeah, I don't have room for clippings though, because if we're going 53 miles an hour, we got to get strap on the hockey equipment and let's just go. I feel the need for speed, Goose.
Didn't ever think I'd hear that in a conversation about gardening, but it works. It checks out.
I'm still fixated on the chicken, by the way. I'm still staring at the chicken.
The chicken building's pretty outstanding right there.
It's in the Philippines if anybody wants to go and let us know.
We've got headlines, 5 minutes and 2 songs. Gorman in the morning, Minnesota's 92 KQRS. Happy Friday. It is day 2 of the Minnesota State Fair. We're feeling Minnesota. Paul Fletcher, headlines, please.
Okay, I can accommodate. For the first time ever, NASA is at the Minnesota State Fair. It's kind of cool.
Nice.
NASA has partnered with the Minnesota Science Museum, and they say they want to show people, especially kids, what's possible. Perhaps the coolest artifact is a moon rock collected by Apollo 15. I think I'll go see that today. You can find them at the North End Event Center at the fair, north of Murphy Avenue between Cooper and Cosgrove, so they're close to us as well.
We walked right by this yesterday, Steve, and then I saw it later on. I was like, oh, crap, we could have gone and seen a real spacesuit.
Damn it.
Yeah.
I have a nephew, Eric Gorman. He's got to be, 80. He's 41 years old.
Okay.
And he was a ne'er-do-well in the 90s. He was a kid in suburban Baltimore, Maryland, going to high school and smoking weed and listening to hip-hop. And his dad was like, what the hell happened to this kid? And he almost flunked out of high school.
Okay.
And then he went to community college and then came home one day and said, hey, I think I want to go into aerospace engineering. And his dad said, do what?
I'm sorry.
Anyway,
what?
He's a literal NASA rocket scientist now.
Oh, that's so cool.
So remember, parents, if your kid likes hip-hop and weed, just send him to aerospace class.
Yeah, sure.
Very cool.
In a blow to their bid for freedom, the first parole hearing for the Menendez brothers did not go well. Eric Menendez was denied parole after 36 years behind.
Really? Wow. I totally thought that was going the other way.
Same. After 36 years behind bars, he had his parole hearing yesterday. Parole Board Commissioner Robert Barton said, quote, that while we give great weight to young offender factors, your continued willingness to commit crimes and violate prison rules was the determining factor in rejecting the parole request. It's kind of funny because you see this groundswell and this movement to get these guys released, but this just goes to show you we don't see the whole story at all. I mean, maybe he's a complete schmuck behind bars. Who knows? He went on to say, quote, based on the legal standards, we find that you continue to pose an unreasonable risk to public safety. Barring a successful petition of yesterday's decision, Eric will sit before the board again in 3 years. His brother Lyle goes today.
Was Eric the younger one or the older one?
I think Eric was the boss. He was the older one.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, if I do believe that's true.
He seemed to be the craftier one.
Sure he was, yeah. And then but man, I'm going to base everything I know about these guys just on that amazing Netflix show last year. That was incredible.
The documentary was good too.
The documentary was good, but come on, man.
Highly entertaining.
Javier
that's for
Bardem.
Sure.
No kidding. Incredible.
Yeah, I'm amazed because Erica's he's the one that's bald now.
Yeah.
And everything I've read is how he's giving himself to this and that. Anyway, well, it's over for now. Garbage's upcoming U.S. tour may be the last time the band performs in many cities. As they confirmed on Instagram, they are, quote, going out in style. The band says they are unlikely to play many of the cities on this tour ever again, declaring that, quote, nothing stays the same forever and all beautiful things come to an end. Shirley Manson mentioned that being able to headline their own shows for the first time in nearly a decade feels special and like an enormous privilege due to their age and uncertain future touring opportunities. So hopefully you've taken advantage and gotten to see, because they are truly a great band live.
I will take your word for it. I've never seen them.
I haven't either. I'm going to try and get into that first Av show in October.
Yeah,
it is sold out, so I'm going to have to get a little sneaky.
Yeah, well, you know what? You're sneaky. Wouldn't put it past you. A new study says that many Gen Z workers lean heavily on their parents in the workplace, with 77% admitting they brought a parent to a job interview and 79% saying their parents communicated with managers on their behalf.
Oh.
Some even had parents write resumes, submit applications, or complete work assignments for them. What?
Good Lord.
Either of you guys ever have your parents help you get a job?
No.
No?
No.
I had my dad drive me to a drug test so I could work at Target, but that's the closest I'm getting.
I'll say this sincerely. If I had been hit by a car, the last person I would have ever called is one of my two parents. Right. They would have just yelled at me. What the hell's wrong with you getting hit by a car?
Yeah, exactly.
Anybody but my parents. It never occurred to me in a million years to lean on them for something. They were like, are you 18? Get the hell out of this house.
Well, think of it from the employer's perspective. You really want to hire that person?
Unbelievable.
Experts caution that while parental guidance can be helpful, direct involvement, quote, undermines the child's credibility and stunts professional growth. Gee, you think? My God, it's the dumbest thing I've read all week.
That's pretty outstanding. We are doomed. The future is just not looking so great right now. By that I mean the Minnesota Lynx. They lost 2 in a row. Season's over. Fun's out. Forget. Turn out the lights. We suck.
Better luck next year.
The Lynx are 28-7 after losing 2 straight games, which means they're still far and away the best team in the WNBA. They lost at Atlanta. The only thing that's minorly concerning about this is that they had a 6-point lead in the fourth quarter, and in a very un-Lynx-like manner, did not close out the Atlanta Dream. So, but the bench, which has been the strongest, the greatest, I guess, the reason to believe this team's going to do it is they're so deep. The bench apparently got to Atlanta and did what most people do in Atlanta, which is they just had a great night out and then didn't show up to play the next night. These things happen. The Minnesota Twins open a 3-game series with the White Sox tonight. Zebby Matthews, your starting pitcher tonight. Who's starting tomorrow and Sunday? They haven't announced yet.
Who knows?
So, if you want to warm up the shoulder and go try out for the Twins, I think you could probably get at least, they'll take a look at you. The Vikings have their final preseason game of the season tonight against the Tennessee Titans. Max Brosmer, the undrafted Minnesota Gopher quarterback, has looked great. And by all, from what I've seen, Sam Howell and Brett Rippon can take the next Greyhound out of town. Give Brosmer the backup job. Kid looks fantastic. Watch him tonight.
That's a cool story, too. We like cool stories.
Hey, real quick, on this day in 1998, Mark McGwire, this is the summer he was trying to pass Roger Maris's home run record of 61.
Okay.
And, of course, he ended up with 70.
Yeah.
He obliterated the long-standing record. On this day, in the summer of 98, he acknowledged to reporters that for over a year, he had been using Andro, which is androstenedione, which is a testosterone-producing supplement. And he said, hey, I've been using it for over a year. What's the big deal? This was a supplement that at that time had been banned by the IOC, the NCAA, and, wait for it, the National Football League.
Wow.
They all said, hey, it's thought to provide an unfair advantage. But baseball? 4 years after a devastating player strike that decimated the fan base, they were like, go ahead and jack it up, fella.
Yeah.
Do you want me to add more to that protein shake you're drinking? We're fine with that. Hugo, Minnesota. Glad to see you. Glad to see you out there, Hugo. Glad to have you with us this morning.
We appreciate your ears.
Man, we do. Hugo, a fine place to be, an even better place to be from. That's what they tell me.
Mm-hmm.
Gorman in the morning. Coming right back. 92 KQRS. Streaming from 92KQRS.com. Gorman in the morning is back. 92 KQRS.
Gorman in the morning on Minnesota's 92 KQRS. Good Friday morning as the air falls out of those bagpipes at the end of the song. Fletcher's on his way over to the fairgrounds right now.
Good luck to him.
Maybe be joining us a little bit to finish the show.
Yeah.
But Steven Hyden is in studio with us. Steven, it's always a pleasure, sir. Good morning.
Thank you. It's great to be here. Good to see you.
So first things first, you still have kids, like
Yes.
younger kids. How many times will the Hyden family be at the fair?
Well, we'll see. I mean, it's a jungle out there when you have kids. Like trying to
Yes, it
steer
is.
the stroller through that area. It's like getting out of Vietnam at the end of the war. I mean, it's
pretty much
crazy.
Hanging
Yeah.
on the helicopter.
Yeah, you definitely want to be on a roof looking for the helicopter ladder,
Exactly.
the rope ladder.
Yes,
to
exactly.
escape.
Please get me out of here. But it's a great time, great food. So we'll probably get there at least once or twice.
Yeah. Okay. Any plans to see any of the big gigs at the fair this summer?
Well, I'm looking at the lineup here. I don't know what's jumping out at me here. I was very intrigued by Daryl Hall in the Rascals. Like, is Daryl Hall in the Rascals or is it and the Rascals?
I assumed that was a double bill. They brought that in after Steve Miller bailed on his summer tour. Steve Miller Band would have been appearing, and then when he decided to cancel the climate change cancellation, which he said, which I mean, I get it. He's in his 80s, and he's playing gigs where it's so hot. A buddy of mine saw Willie and Bob Dylan in Raleigh, North Carolina this summer. It was 104 degrees.
Insane.
And Willie Nelson walked on stage 90, and he's out there.
Yeah.
So I get it. It's a little toasty. But you just said something about Steve Miller Band. It had a big resurgence when you were in high school. What were you saying?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up in the 90s, and that Greatest Hits album with the horse head on it, I think that's like the Steve Miller logo.
Yep.
It was like weirdly huge. Like you would hear, gangster rap and grunge, and then all of a sudden it would be, Jet Airliner coming out at a party or something. Yeah, you got to feel like how many times has Steve Miller played the Joker in his life? I mean, he's in his 80s now. He probably wants to kick back. It's like, do I go to a state fair? Do I have like a pina colada by my swimming pool wherever he lives?
I think the answer is as many gigs as he's played since the Joker was released. That's how many times he's played the Joker.
Yeah.
I don't think he takes a night off from it.
Yeah, I don't know.
If you write a line that is, some people call me the space cowboy, you just want to say it over and over and over again.
That's exactly what you want to do.
Yeah, and that little whistle sound. I don't know if does Steve Miller himself make that sound? Does he have someone in the band that makes that sound?
There's got to be a guy. Def Leppard, stalwart.
Oh, yeah.
I think this is the third time Def Leppard's played in Minnesota since I moved here.
Yeah.
And just refresh it's been all 3 years, right?
Yeah. I mean they don't take a year off.
I mean, it's good summertime music. Pour some sugar on me.
Sure.
I mean, again, going back to my youth, 1988, watching Joe Elliott in the ripped jeans.
Sure.
In that music
of course.
video. I mean, it just feels like late August.
Yeah, that's exactly what that feels like. And I still think Def Leppard will never get enough credit, in my opinion, for being just great dudes. Because they're the only band that's ever gone through the experience of, hey, our drummer lost an arm, and they're the only band that ever went, okay, we'll take 3 years off and let him figure it out. I mean, it's just improbable. I've said this a million times. It's not a joke, and it's not even a knock. It's what any band would be. But my band, had I lost my arm as we were ascending, as we were on our way up to the top of the pyramid, they would have been booking auditions on their way to the hospital.
Yeah, you couldn't have like a hangnail in that band.
As would any other band not named Def Leppard.
Yeah, the drummer is always like expendable, I feel like. If the drummer is, there's that joke about like how does a drummer get fired? It's when they introduce their own song.
Yeah,
or they
hey
want
guys,
sing or
I wrote a
something.
song. That's always the last thing a drummer says in a band.
So yeah, I mean, Def Leppard, that is historic drummer appreciation in that band.
It's exactly what it is. It's outstanding. One band, I will say, not all drummers are expendable. There's a big reason that the Beatles have maintained their relevance for 55 years after breaking up, and that's because they had the King of Kings, the greatest rock and roll drummer of all time, Ringo Starr, who was also, like the other three, by the time they pulled the plug, basically a cartoon character. They're all superheroes. They're just on this whole other plane. Not just the first real band to take over the world, but to this day, arguably, or sort of inarguably, still the best ever to do it for whatever reason. So I'm mentioning this because, by the way, STEVEN HYDEN is in studio with us. Every now and again, you need to have a legitimate music critic, a writer, a man who spends his life writing and thinking at length about these things to come in and talk about it.
Yes.
How is it so that 55 years after the band broke up, for crying out loud, they're still churning out? There's going to be another Beatles anthology episode added. Episode number 9, more hours of footage, more outtakes, more Beatle information still to come on Disney Plus, and it's going to be watched by millions of people. How do you account for that?
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing with the Beatles, obviously the music is great.
Yep.
And so you got to begin with there. But I also think that their story, it's like Greek mythology. You know, you want to hear that story over and over again. It doesn't get tired, just like Icarus. You know, that story gets recycled over and over again, or Shakespeare stories. It's the same thing. There's something very satisfying, I think, about their arc. Right. And when you watch the Beatles anthology, there's all these like little micro stories too that are great to see. Like, you know, them getting trapped in Malaysia because they wouldn't have dinner like with the dictator's wife.
In the Philippines.
In the Philippines, that's it.
Yep.
It's the most rewatchable music doc, I think, of all time. Just because you can throw on an episode, and it's just so fun to be in that world and to see the Beatles in the mid-'90s in their very colorful jackets and Paul McCartney's mullet and all that brilliant stuff.
Yeah, I remember watching Anthology the first time it aired. It was on ABC. It wasn't like cable.
Really?
It was like ABC on Sunday nights. Man, here's Beatles Anthology. And so this was 1995, which was only 25 years after they'd broken up. But it was like, I mean, it was appointment television times 10 for anybody that remotely cared. And I do remember the McCartney interviews were all like, George would just be sitting in his garden, Ringo's in a recording studio or at his home in Monte Carlo, and Paul is on a tugboat.
Yes. Yeah,
and then he's by a fire pit, and then he's with like every setting there. I was like, Paul, get over it, man. And he's like steering a tugboat through some channel in the Scottish. He's like, well, you have to understand, George Martin brought to it. And I'm like, you're on a tugboat. What are you doing?
I love that idea of like, okay, Paul, we need to set up this interview. And Paul's like, well, I'm driving a tugboat this time.
Exactly.
So you got to come on the tugboat with me, and we'll do it. Yeah, I mean, for me, I was a teenager when it originally aired in the 90s, and it was like the first big new Beatles thing of my life because I was born 7 years after they broke up, so it was just revisiting the old albums. So to have this big event, and the Beatles, they have a way of recycling their old material, in a way that makes it feel like an event. Just like when Get Back came out 4 or 5 years ago. It wasn't the same as what a lot of bands do. We have a new box set, and it's cool, and maybe some people get excited. It's like, no, this is like a new Beatles thing.
Sure.
And just from like a marketing perspective, because when you look at the actual material, sometimes you feel like, okay, is there a bottom of this barrel? Like are there really new outtakes? Are there really new clips? Like we're going to show like Ringo smoking a cigarette in the studio in like 1969. And it's like, we're going to do that because it's cool. You know?
It is. Yeah.
But at some point, it's like they got to run out of stuff. You would think.
I remember a few years ago, I just looked at something on Facebook, and it was all these color photos from like 1962 that I'd never seen before. And my thought was, I'm still so shocked that I've not seen every picture of the band ever.
Right.
But then you realize, well, they had friends who had cameras that they are not famous. And then someone found an old roll of film and, hey, here's me with the Beatles at a pub. And it's just so weird. The most photographed band probably ever to this day.
Yeah.
And I'm still like, shocked. You think that you've seen and heard it all, but not the case at all. The book called The Beatles that came out like in 2004 or 5. Who wrote that? What's the guy's name? I'm spacing. That book came out, and I heard you actually recommended it to me years ago. I told you I hadn't read it, and you were like, oh no, you really need to. And I did, and I thought, I don't know any of this, and it was so shocking. Like, they've been so meticulously covered and explored and exposed, and of course, we still scratch the surface on what we really know about what it was like in that eye of the. You're right; it is like Greek mythology at this point, and the fact that they're from Liverpool, not London, it's like they're from Binghamton, New York.
Right?
You know, it's like they're not from New York City or Pittsburgh at best.
And they're the rare band where, you alluded to this earlier, where each person in the band feels like a character.
Yeah,
it's
for
not
sure.
like this is the interchangeable guy who got fired and then we replace them with somebody else. It's like, no, they're making biopics about each individual member. There is no other band that you could do that for. Yeah. It's only the Beatles. And again, like the cynical part of me sometimes looks at this stuff and goes, oh, they're just rehashing stuff. It's recycled, blah, blah, blah. And then I actually watch it and I'm like, I'm totally on board.
Yeah.
Like, I love just give me every Beatles scrap that I can get, because the music is amazing, but them as characters and their story and just how there's things about their story that feel scripted almost. Like on Abbey Road, it ends with a song called The End. Yeah. It's like they knew that they were going to break up, and then they played like the rooftop concert, which is this kind of beautiful, understated thing that also feels totally mythic. I mean, there's no band that has this arc where it feels like it was written by a great screenwriter.
Well, they're in the studio making what became Abbey Road, and the working title for the album was always Everest. And they talked about, let's go take a photo at Mount Everest, because they all had the sense this will be the last time, and we are on top of the world, and we are the biggest thing ever. And then the whole idea is we're going to fly to Nepal for a photo shoot. And then, of course, George is like, are you out of your minds? I don't want to do that. No. And so they go, well, then let's just walk out front and take a picture crossing the street. I mean, it went from Mount Everest to just a road that up until that moment no one cared about, called Abbey Road, because the studio was actually still known as EMI Studios. So Abbey Road was not a thing that was not a known. But then they put the record out, call it Abbey Road. That photo of them just walking across the zebra stripe, more iconic than if they had gone to Mount Everest.
Yeah, it's like they didn't have to go to Everest. They could turn a street into Everest.
Exactly.
Because they were on it. Yep. You know, it's like they're more important than the mountain. You just put the Beatles in any context, and that's going to make it into this mythic thing.
STEVEN Hyden is with us on Gorman in the Morning. I had an experience with some modern-day Beatles back in the early 90s. My former band, the Black Crowes, we were playing in Dallas at a gig called the Bronco Bowl. And it's the weirdest thing ever. So our lead guitarist at the time, his name was Mark Ford, and he was a transcendent great talent and a really amazing player who had joined the band.
Amazing.
And we are on our way to the venue to play, and he got a call from his mom that day. And he said, yeah, my mom called. He goes, so weird. My this guy I played Little League Baseball with, like up until we were 14, he's going to come to the gig tonight. And we're like, okay. And he goes, yeah. Weird. And he goes, it's so funny. Like my mom and his mom have stayed in touch. And so he moved when we were like, going into 8th grade. He moved, I guess, to like Oklahoma. I haven't seen him or thought of him since, but I guess he's like a football player now. I think he plays for the team here.
Okay.
And this is how sports savvy Mark is. He says, the team here. And I'm like, do you mean the Cowboys? Again, this is 1992. He goes, yeah, that's he's on the Cowboys.
Yeah.
And we're all like, oh, wow. And I'm thinking, it's going to be some third string tight end. And Mark goes, God, I mean, I don't think I've seen Troy since 8th grade.
Oh, my God.
And the whole everyone stops and we go, Troy Aikman? And he goes, how do you guys know who he is? And we're like, what planet are you on?
He's the QB for the biggest team in the world.
And and I mentioned that because that night so as it turned out, Troy didn't make the gig. He was the king of Texas and something came up. But he sent a few of his teammates down. Moose Johnston and Mark Stepnoski and the big Bjornson, the tight end. A few of the Cowboys came down to the show. And they were standing on the side of the stage. And you think you're cool when you're in a rock band and people are going nuts until those people look over and see 4 Cowboys. We should have just left because the whole crowd all at once is like, there they are. So the Dallas Cowboys of the early 90s, not unlike the Beatles of the 60s.
Oh, my God.
Right.
And all of this long buildup to say, I've yet to see this Netflix special on the Dallas Cowboys. You said you've started to watch it. All I've heard is it's the greatest sports documentary of all time. Everybody I know who's seen it says, oh, my God, don't start it until you have 6 hours to watch all of it.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's like The Last Dance if there were like multiple Dennis Rodmans on the Bulls.
That was going to be my first question is how does it compare to The Last Dance?
Because The Last Dance is obviously amazing. And, it's really interesting because it's concurrent with the Cowboys. It's the same era. Right. But the Cowboys, they're like just so beyond in terms of the backstories and the antics. They're like the Led Zeppelin of rock. I mean, they're the Beatles of football teams, but they're also like the Led Zeppelin. I mean, there's there's a lot of stuff I can't even say on the air here because there's some naughty things in the doc, but there's this episode where they talk about the White House, which is not the place where the president lives. Right. It's a house by where the Cowboys practice where they would basically go to do drugs and hang out with groupies.
Right.
And it's amazing. I mean, a lot of these sports documentaries, they just feel like commercials for the subjects, and they're not that interesting. But this movie, they're getting into the dirt of it. And Jerry Jones, he says in the movie, I wanted my team to be a soap opera that people would care about all year round. And this movie is confirming it because he is pushing the dirt.
Sure.
The stuff with him and Jimmy Johnson, they're feuding, and Michael Irvin stabbing someone with a scissors. All the stuff with Charles Haley, which I cannot get into. He did some crazy things. He's like a lunatic. I hated this team in the 90s. I hated the Cowboys.
Of course.
Everyone hated the Cowboys, but I love them in retrospect.
Yeah.
I hated them as a football team. I love them as a documentary subject.
Oh, that's great. I really know, and I've seen a couple of trailers and clips from it, and I am like, I can't start it. I got to make sure it's got to be like a Sunday morning where I put it on because I'm just going to watch the entire thing.
There's something with me, and I'm sure this is true for you too, where just give me a documentary where you're going to show old Sports Center footage, or you're going to show like John Madden and Pat Summerall, like those 80s and 90s sports clips.
Oh yeah.
I don't care what the subject is, I'm on board. Show me Stuart Scott reading 100%. Headlines.
Yep.
It's just amazing to me. I can't get enough of it.
Yeah, no, we're with you right there. STEVEN Hyden's in studio with us. This is Gorman in the Morning. We're gonna be, you're gonna hang out for a bit, yeah?
Yeah.
You're not in a rush.
Nice.
Absolutely.
Fair enough, because we got some headlines to get into in about 5 minutes and 2 songs.
Gorman in the Morning. Coming right back. 92 KQRS. Streaming from 92KQRS.com. Gorman in the Morning is back. 92 KQRS.
Gorman in the Morning, Minnesota 92 KQRS. This morning is Friday, August the 22nd. It is day 2 of the Minnesota State Fair. I'm feeling Minnesota. And right now, Ryder is going to offer a few headlines for us all.
Sure.
STEVEN Hyden, sorry, you gave me that look. STEVEN Hyden is in studio with us, ladies and gentlemen. Paul Fletcher's out at the fair. He may or may not be joining us momentarily. But Hyden's hanging out with us on a Friday morning as well. I'm glad to see you're still here, sir.
Oh, it's a very comfortable chair. I can't get out of it, so I'm just going to ride it out here.
Answer.
That's how we like to do it.
Yeah.
Okay, now, Ryder, please, what's happening in the world?
Couple of things you'll want to know this morning. Minnesota hockey legend Lou Nanne joined organizers in announcing plans for a Minnesota Hockey Hall of Fame in a statement released yesterday. Yes, we don't actually have one of those bad boys. Location has not been chosen yet, but it'll be in the metro area and is scheduled to open in the spring of 2028. Hall of Fame will feature a 30,000 square foot museum, state-of-the-art indoor-outdoor ice rink, and I imagine they're working on burning Norm Green in effigy from now until the end of time.
How is there not a Minnesota Hockey Hall of Fame yet?
Right? I feel like this is going to come up in bar trivia at some point.
If you want to see the redefinition of the term hockey fight, wait till they're fighting over who goes in the first class. Yes. Oh, my God. They'll be fighting in the streets over that one.
Oh, man. Bids over what city it's going to be in,
too?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
For music fans, for Twin Cities music fans, the Replacements will release an expanded 3-CD deluxe edition of their classic 1984 album, Let It Be.
Oh, hell yeah, they will.
Hell
yes.
Yeah. Beautiful.
I know, it's coming out on CD, though, so that's a little weird. The set will be available on October 24th. Will include remastered versions of the original album, disc of rarities, and a CD featuring a live show from 1984. Alternate takes of Gary's Got a Boner are also in the works.
Very nice.
So there we go. Do you two buy albums, like multiple copies of the same album?
I do.
Like, generally speaking, as a rule, it has happened many times, yes.
Really?
Yes.
God,
not so much lately, but yeah, for sure.
There's something kind of fun about buying an album again. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
Just reliving that experience, almost pretending like you haven't heard the record before, and now I'm going to re-experience it here. I mean, Let It Be, is that the best Replacements album, you think?
I say Tim is,
I do too.
Is where
I think
go.
that's the popular
And
answer.
when Tim, when that was re-released a couple years ago with a proper mix,
everybody lost their mind.
It was amazing.
I kid you not, I was crying when I was listening to it. It was like, it was as if in a weird movie. It was like, I was dating the head of the cheerleading team, and I'm the quarterback, and I'm reliving, but now it's all better than it ever was, and I'm first team All-State. I mean, it just brought all this flood of mid-'80s emotion to me. Like I was hearing something for the first time that I'd heard a million times. I don't know. It's no way to really describe what it did because I was baffled as to how much it moved me. But, yeah, incredible. Let It Be is not getting like a whole repackaging, a whole remix and remaster. And if it is, no, I'm sure it is. What I'm saying is it's not going to be revelatory the way Tim was. Like, it's not going to be the worst mix ever turned into one of the best ones ever.
Yeah, that's the most, I think, significant version of that. Remastering or remixing a record.
Yes.
I can't think of another example where it just totally transformed the record. And I'll say I still love the original mix because
as do I.
That's what I grew up with, and you learn to love the flaws in your favorite records. But it was amazing to hear those songs and to feel like, oh, this is the Replacements, what they do live.
Yeah.
Now they're finally conveying that on a record, and it just transformed the album. Let It Be to me, if it's not the best Replacements record, it's like 1B. It's like right behind it. Because I Will Dare at the beginning of the record.
Incredible. It's the first one I bought. I got into the Replacements on Let It Be and then worked my way backwards immediately. Like, okay, I'd heard of them, but it was the first record I got. But then when Tim came out, in real time, bought it that day and just was like, you got to be kidding me. And by the way, Answering Machine is come on.
Yeah.
Let It Be is fantastic.
That song
Androgynous is incredible. It is. It's all great.
And the album cover too, iconic. That's their version of Abbey Road. Them on the rooftop.
Now I'm unsatisfied.
It
might be better than Tim.
Oh, no. Let's go find that rooftop and take a picture.
It's great. Yeah, no kidding. Let's go. The Minnesota Lynx lost a game last night. Interestingly enough, this is the first time all season they've lost 2 in a row.
Wow.
So start to panic there, Lynx fans. Actually, no reason to. They're still 28-7. Nafisa Collier will be back probably before the playoffs start, and they're going to be just fine. Zebby Matthews will be starting for the Twins tonight. The Twins have yet to announce their starting pitcher for tomorrow and or Sunday. Steven, I'd suggest to you, go get warmed up and see if you can't get a starting spot for your Minnesota Twins.
I'd love that. Get me in there. Put me in, coach.
Final preseason game for the Minnesota Vikings. Max Brosmer, the undrafted Gopher quarterback. That should be your second. I think he should be the backup. Okay. He looks great, and he's whip smart, and Sam Howell and Brett Rippon just have not been up to snuff. Or, as I prefer to say, they just suck. So let's get the kid, undrafted Max Brosmer, into that lineup. What do you say? I think you'll see him a lot on the field tonight. They're going to really make sure, like, is this a joke or is this kid really this good? Albertville, Minnesota. Want to say good morning to our friends in Albertville.
A sincere good morning to everybody in Albertville.
A very sincere good morning. Which is not to say good morning to Hibbing, Minnesota, which is, of course, the home of Robert Zimmerman. Gorman in the morning, Minnesota's 92 KQRS. Bob Dylan right there. Don't get our friend STEVEN Hyden started on the impact of Bob Dylan.
Oh, my God.
On the universe, but suffice to say,
my hero.
Yeah, that's the guy.
That's my guy, man. Blood on the Tracks. Are you kidding me? Doesn't get any better than that.
It really doesn't. Hibbing, Minnesota. So he was born in Duluth and then raised in Hibbing, correct?
Yes.
I have that right.
Yes, and
Kevin McHale, Hibbing gentlemen.
That's right. Yes. Bob, also a great basketball player, I think.
Oh, yeah. Pesky point guard.
Yeah, I'm
a defensive stopper.
I'm going up that way next week, and I think I'm going to drive by his house and the high school that he went to, played his first gig. That's across the street. So, yeah, going to make a pilgrimage up there.
Very, very nice.
Pay tribute to the man.
Speaking of childhood homes, I love the story of 2009 or 10, I want to say. A group of people went to see, you can go to John Lennon's childhood home where he lived with his Aunt Mimi in Liverpool. And so you go there and there's you don't go to the house, you go to a place in the city center and you sign up and then you get on a little day coach and they drive groups of 10 or 12 because it's out kind of in a suburb. John Lennon grew up sort of in a suburb.
Okay.
A little nicer area than the other guys with his aunt. And so you just get a little day coach, 10-seater van type of thing, and they drive you out, and then you walk through the house and see everything.
Wow. And
so one of these tours happened, and one of the people on that tour, who was an American tourist who loves the Beatles, got home and developed his pictures. And in the photos from inside John Lennon's childhood home, he recognized there was a guy on the tour who was wearing a hoodie the whole time. And one of the photos, he's like, is that Bob Dylan?
No.
And it was Bob Dylan Bob Dylan, completely without being noticed, did a tour with a group of other tourists of John Lennon's childhood home.
That's so cool.
And no one recognized him. No one noticed until after the fact. And the fact is, like, Dylan and John, they knew each other pretty well. They spent a lot of time together. It's like they're peers, at the time. And he's
New
like,
York, probably.
Maybe I'll go check out what kind of house he grew up in. I mean, what is Bob Dylan thinking?
Oh, this is what John Lennon played guitar as a kid.
That's great.
This is so cool.
Man, I wonder if he ever slipped on those steps because they said he had bad vision. I mean, who knows what was going through Bob's mind?
He's a beautiful weirdo, Bob Dylan.
Yeah, he certainly is.
I never get sick of Bob Dylan stories. There's like a million of them like that.
He is 100% in that zone where anybody that tells you a Bob Dylan story, you just assume it's true.
Yeah,
There's never one you hear and you're like, no way. It's like, oh yeah, that totally checks out.
Yeah, and it's going to be him showing up in some place that you don't expect, and he's wearing the hoodie, and it's just totally bizarre. He's kind of like Prince that way, like how Prince just popped up in all these different places, both Minnesota people, obviously. And it's just amazing that the state produced these two geniuses who are just singular in their own atmosphere. Yeah. And it's wonderful to be in their presence.
I totally agree. Sorry, Kevin McHale. You're out on that club. This is all about
He's fine too.
This is all about Bob and his royal badness. STEVEN Hyden is in studio with us this morning. Paul Fletcher's out at the fairgrounds getting ready to do his shift. Hyden, Soul Asylum. You were a kid in Wisconsin in the 90s.
Yes.
When did they hit your radar?
Well, it would have been with that record, Grave Dancers Union, 92. That was like their big MTV record, and I was 14 when that album came out. So went back, checked out Hang Time, and The Horse They Rode In On, all the old records. And that album was definitely slicker. Yep. It was bigger sounding. The older albums are more raw, but Somebody to Shove, that's still...
Sure.
That track bangs, man. That holds up.
I would listen to that thing on repeat if you would let me.
Hang Time was 1988. My band at that time was called Mr. Crow's Garden, and we opened for Soul Asylum in Raleigh, North Carolina, and then in our hometown of Atlanta 2 nights in a row.
Oh, yeah.
And that was as big as we'd ever. I mean, we're opening for Soul Asylum. Like, that was a big breakthrough weekend for us. And got to the gig in Raleigh, and they walked in. And again, this is a club that holds 200 people tops.
Sure.
But it might as well have been Madison Square Garden because we were opening for Soul Asylum, and we couldn't believe that they were just normal guys. They seem like they're actually kind of friendly. They're in a van just like us, but they're on A&M Records, and we were like, they're giant rock stars. Nicest guys in the world back then. It was a huge thing for us. And all these years later, I play gigs with Dan Murphy now on occasion in Golden Smog, which is pretty cool.
Very cool.
I mean, all these full circle moments are just things. I never lose sight of how cool that is. I'm like, of course, he would look at me like, what's wrong with you? But, it's pretty awesome. What can I say? It's just the kind of the way I see it. Hey, you know what? It's probably time for some Pearl Jam. Gorman in the morning, Minnesota's 92 KQRS. If you put Queen and David Bowie in a studio with a ton of cocaine, you could get a much worse result than Under Pressure. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, it's amazing they even made a song.
It really is. When you hear the stories, a 3-day bender, raging, and at the end of it, that's what they churned up.
It's unfair.
Truly incredible.
It's unfair.
STEVEN Hyden is in studio. So last chance. What's going on? Are you working on anything you can share with us, or do you just want me to mention again that you have an amazing Bruce Springsteen book that everybody should read?
You should mention that. You can read my writing on uprocks.com. Always doing something over there. My book, Born in the USA, came out last year. Of course, my book with you. Hard to Handle. If you
That's still available anywhere everybody can buy books.
Hardcover and paperback and an audiobook as well.
Right. That's right.
That you did very brilliantly.
If you don't hear enough of my voice in the morning, listen to 13 hours of me telling a story.
Just mainline Gorman into your brain.
Christina, who works in our digital department, mentioned that she is listening to the audiobook right now and asked me, does he really remember all those dates? And I said, yes, he does. I think it's like a sickness.
It's funny. I can always see the before and after looks on people's faces before they've read the book and after.
Yeah.
Because they come up after and there's a moment of, oh, hey, you okay, bud?
Yeah, it's amazing.
I'm like, yeah, I'm doing great. Thanks. I'm fine. This is awesome. I'm like, oh, okay, good. Just boom, a little fist bump, maybe even a half hug. Yeah, okay, just read your book. Okay, cool. Good to see you. Hyden, come back anytime, brother.
Anytime you have me, I'll be here.
Always our pleasure. All right, we got a little bit of time left, just enough for the last word. Gorman in the morning, Minnesota's 92 KQRS. No sleep till Brooklyn. Here's your last word. One fun fact about Brooklyn, New York. If it became its own city, if Brooklyn were to separate from the rest of New York City, it would be the third biggest city in America.
Oh.
That's how big Brooklyn is.
Take that, Chicago.
That's exactly right. Chicago's like, don't ever separate. Stay. That's all I got for you on Brooklyn. But you know what? Well, it's a good way to end the week. Next week on this show, Pete Lee will be with us on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Always looking forward to that. Vikings insider Sam Ekstrom. What will that be, Thursday?
Yep, Thursday.
We will be starting the first of many conversations with old Slammin' Sammy about the purple and gold. Plus, we're going to be giving away Bert Kreischer tickets and Doobie Dabbler tickets. All in all, it's going to be it's what they call a hell of a week coming up on Gorman in the Morning. But between now and then, do yourself a favor. Get out to Ye Old State Fair, why don't you? We're looking very forward to that ourselves. We'll be back here on Monday. Fletcher coming up next from the Minnesota State Fair. Have a great weekend.